Am I the asshole for calling my daughter a terrible mother? My oldest daughter and I had a disagreement recently. I was very disappointed in her and expressed this to her, as well as my opinion that she is a terrible mother. She believes I am wrong to judge her, so I want some perspective. My daughter was married twice. Her first husband died when their children were 9 years old, 5 years old, and 4 years old. She met her second husband 18 months later and remarried after 1 year of dating, creating a blended family with his daughter, who was 4 years old at the time of their marriage. My oldest grandson was devastated by his father's death. He was in therapy from the time of his father's death, something my husband and I had to pressure our daughter to seek because she was focused more on moving forward. However, our grandson was hardly eating or sleeping and had difficulty in school. My daughter thanked me later for giving her the push. When my grandson started therapy, he was asked to keep a diary to help him. It took him several months to use it more than once a month, but he did grow to use it a lot. This diary was for his eyes only. Not even the therapist read it. They just discussed anything he wished to. My daughter had more children with her second husband, and things were fine. When my grandson decided he wanted to attend college locally, he asked if he could live with my husband and me, and we agreed. He moved in with us in mid-June. About 1 month later, I noticed something was going on, but I had no idea what. My other 2 grandchildren from my daughter's first marriage told me that their mother and brother were fighting because their mother had stolen his therapy diary while they were visiting us and that she was angry about its contents. She was also mad at them because they defended their brother. I spoke to my grandson, who was both angry and sad. He told me his mother was never supposed to read those writings. I spoke to my daughter next. She ranted at me about how my grandson had written about her husband and other children, including her stepdaughter. She said he never wanted her to move on, that he wanted her to be alone forever, and that he did not even love his much younger siblings, just the 2 from her marriage to his father. She said she could not look at him. I asked her if it was true she stole the diary. She was stunned I would ask, and told me I should be focused more on the contents, especially since some of it was written right before he moved in with me. I told her it was kept in a diary and never vocalized to any of them. She said that did not matter, and I said it did. She told me I should be on her side and he should be shunned for writing so many awful things. This is when I expressed my disappointment in her and called her a terrible mother. Am I the asshole? Reddit verdict: not the asshole. Top comments. Comment: not the asshole. Your daughter, however, is the asshole. She stole her son's diary and then read through his private thoughts. Now she wants the entire family to shun him because she could not force him to accept her perfect blended family. Pathetic. Original poster's comment from below. She is also holding on to all of this. I hear from 2 of my grandchildren that she continues to blame her brother and has openly discussed what he wrote, which means she hurt her stepdaughter and her younger children with her actions. This is telling the younger children the private thoughts of their half or stepbrother and creating a huge divide between the 3 older siblings and the younger siblings. Original poster: your daughter needs to see this post, and your grandson needs to see how much support he has besides you. Author: the worst part is he never treated any of the children poorly or even that differently. There were subtle, very minor differences, yes, but he did his best to be kind to all the children. His diary was his way of keeping others from being hurt. My daughter's actions have left me incredibly upset. I would like to think we taught her better than this. Comment: yikes, not the asshole. She has probably undone years of therapy right there and has the audacity to be mad at the poor kid. None of her children will trust her going forward. Comment: not the asshole. My mother read my diary once when I was a child. She did not like the contents either. I am now 33 years old and have never written down my thoughts since that day and struggle with trust issues, boundaries, and privacy. I am also no contact with my mother. Tell your daughter this is what her future looks like. Author: I am so very sorry this happened to you. I cannot understand a parent doing this. Write what you think about this situation. Who did the right thing, and who is the asshole? Let's discuss it in the comments. In the meantime, let's move on to the next story. Am I the asshole for not helping my mother-in-law get out of the hospital? I am a person who cares very much about my daily routine. If I go to bed at 9 o'clock in the evening every day, I am not going to break that rule no matter what happens. Otherwise, I will feel like an idiot. My mother-in-law has really bad feet. It is very hard for her to walk. She also recently needed eye surgery. Because she is from a small village, she was sent to our city for surgery. She was supposed to stay in the hospital for a few more days after the operation, but a couple of days ago, her doctor said she could be discharged from the hospital. My wife was on a business trip at the time, so she could not make it into town. I had the next day off. My wife called me and asked if I could pick up her mother from the hospital in my car and take her to her village. I was somewhat surprised at this. As I said, I live a routine, and by my calculations, it would have taken me at least 4 hours to do what my wife was asking me to do. My mother-in-law is a really very slow walker, so just getting to the parking lot with her would be an ordeal. And then it is also too long to get to her village and back. I asked why her mother could not take a cab to her house. My wife complained that the driver she knew would not be working that evening, and since it was getting dark very early where we lived, she was afraid to let her sick mother go with unfamiliar cab drivers in the dark, especially since there was no cell phone reception on the road. So I said no. Perhaps if I had been warned about it at least a week in advance, I would have been able to mentally prepare myself, but I was only warned a few hours in advance. My wife was almost in tears and asked if I could then at least pick up her mother from the hospital and bring her to our house to spend the night and help her get a cab in the morning. I again refused because, like I said, my mother-in-law walks very slowly. I would still lose several hours of my time and, more importantly, sleep. Going to bed 2 hours late does not sound so scary, but not to me. My wife reminded me that when I did not have enough money for the car I drive now, my mother-in-law gave me the money at no cost. I replied that I was very grateful to my mother-in-law for the help with money she gives us every time, and I would really like to help her, but I cannot. My wife asked if I did not have the next day off, and I said that yes, I did, and I would like to at least keep my routine on my day off. My wife did not say anything else to me. I found out later that she did find a cab for her mother, and how loudly she had proclaimed before that it would not be safe, but as she was coming down the stairs outside, she slipped and fell. Now my wife thinks it was my fault, because if I had come at her request to help my mother-in-law at least get to the cab from the hospital, this would not have happened. It was icy outside here. Reddit verdict. Asshole. Poo mode. Best comments you want to hear. Comment. You are the asshole. Selfish and insufferable sounding from this account, I am astounded that you can sustain a marriage and healthy relationship with this rigidity and lack of any care for others. Truly hope this is fake. Comment. You are the asshole. That line, I am not going to change my rule no matter what happens. You need help, original poster. That is not going to allow you to cope with the real world. And frankly, you are both lazy and cruel. This might end your marriage. It would have ended mine. So buck up. If you really cannot change, get therapy and a vasectomy. You must not have children with your current behavior. Comment. You are the asshole. This was not a huge ask considering the circumstances, but you selfishly decided your needs came before your wife's, your hospitalized mother-in-law's, and everyone else's. Good sleep and routines are important, but you are far too rigid about yours to the point where it has a negative impact on those around you. Do you ever plan to have a puppy or children? Are you going to shift all the responsibilities for everything that is needed after 9 o'clock in the evening to your wife because you are unwilling to be the least bit flexible? Apologize to your wife, your mother-in-law, and at the very least, send them both some very nice flower arrangements. Comment. Given how driven you are by your need to keep a routine, I will vote a soft you are the asshole. The circumstances on the face of it are not in your favor. I hope your wife knows and understands your obsession with scheduling. Yes, your mother-in-law did get a ride home, but under less than ideal circumstances. If your need to follow precise daily routines interferes with your ability to do a helpful kindness on your day off to someone who has shown you generosity, you have deeper issues to deal with than whether or not you are an asshole in this situation. I hope you can get some help. Comment. You are the asshole. I doubt this is real, as I cannot believe anyone could be this selfish and lack such awareness to ask if they are in the wrong in this situation. On the tiny chance it is real, you are the asshole. You have made clear to your wife that she cannot rely on you in an emergency. You are utterly selfish and self-involved. I hope you will be happier when she divorces you, as you will have nothing disturbing your bizarre and irrational routine. She will definitely be happier, as she can find a decent man who cares about other people. Comment: You are the asshole. If I were your wife, that would be the end of the relationship. You only care about yourself and cannot help an elderly woman get home, or at least to your house, because it would take away from your personal time. That is not okay. Oh, and she walks slowly. You cannot be trusted to help in an urgent or emergency situation and lack compassion and empathy. Those are not qualities anyone wants in a partner. Comment: You are the asshole. There are myriad reasons if you don't want to, and a whole lot of ways if you really cared. You are single material. You should never marry with that kind of attitude. Your spouse should think otherwise if she goes home straight to her mother's house after her trip. Postscript: Get that brain checked about routine. Sounds like you have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but still, that is not a reason to be unreasonable. Comment: You are the asshole. Your selfishness dressed up as being beholden to a routine is utter nonsense. If God forbid something happens to you that requires compassion, decency, and help, I hope your wife has a short memory. Please do not have kids. You are a blithering idiot. Whew. I think that if the burning asses of people who write comments could be used to power houses with electricity, then this post could power a city of 10,000 people. What do you think about this situation? Who do you think is a jerk, and who did the right thing? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the Sneaky Pigeon channel to get more cool and interesting stories. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.